Today we'll be covering variance and standard deviation of a set of data. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to calculate the variance and standard deviation using a calculator from a set of data. Starting with vocabulary, variance is the average of the distance between each data point and the mean. It's represented by this symbol, which is sigma squared. And essentially we're going to find the mean and then take each data point, subtract the data point from the mean, and then square it. After we have done all of that, we're going to add the numbers together and divide it by the total number of numbers. Standard deviation is denoted with just the sigma, because in order to find the standard deviation, we just have to take the square root of the variance. So let's see how this works. We're going to skip the previous two slides for time, and it's easier to see and understand the standard deviation and variance off of this set of data first. So in order to find the standard deviation, we first have to find the mean. So to find the mean, I add all of these numbers up together and divide it by 10. If I add all those numbers together, I get 140. And when I divide 140 by 10, the mean is 14. Next, to find the variance, we take that number 14 and we take each one of these numbers and subtract them. So 14 minus 14 is 0. And we square that to get 0. And then we do it with 15. 15 minus 14 is 1, and 1 squared is 1. Done it with 14, done it with 15. Here is another 15, so that's another 1. Then we do it with 17. So 17 minus 14 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. Remember, we're getting this number 14 from our mean here. Then we do it with 11. So 11 minus 14 is negative 3, but when you square negative 3, you get positive 9. We already did 15, so 15 is 1. And we do it with 13, so 13 minus 14 is negative 1, and when we square negative 1, we get positive 1. Then we do it with 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. 2 squared is 4. And 15 we did already, that's 1. And I think that's a 13. 13. 13 we did already, that's another 1. So we take all these numbers and average those numbers. So we add them all together and we get 28. There are 10 numbers, including the 0 here. There are 10 numbers that we calculated, so we divide it by 10. And we get 2.8. Okay, let's erase some so that we can have a clear screen. Okay, so our variance, which is sigma squared, is 2.8. But this question is asking for the standard deviation. So remember that the standard deviation is the square root of sigma squared. So I take the square root of 2.8 and I get 1.67. Now this set of data, the numbers are a little bit larger, so we want to make sure we take our time. So the first thing we have to do is find the mean. Using our calculators, we find that the mean is 1003 divided by the number of numbers, which is 10, so our mean is 110.3. So now remember, when we find the standard deviation, we take that 110.3, each one of the numbers, and subtract it and then square it. So we take 111, subtract 110.3, we get 0.7, and we square that to get 0.49. And we do that with all 10 numbers. So we get 0.49 and then 13.69 with 114. And then 176.89 when we do 97. And then 68.89 when we do 102. And then 94.09 when we do 120. And then 7.29 when we do 13. Oh. And then 32.49 when we do 116 minus 110 squared. And then 13.69 with 114, 18.49 with 106, and then 0.09 with 110. 0.3 squared is 0.09. We add those all up together, and we get 426.1, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we divide it by 10, and our variance is 42.61. Now this one only asks for the variance, so we do not have to take the square root of it to get our answer. Our answer is 42.61. So your homework for tomorrow, Wednesday, April 18th, is to take the worksheet packet that I gave you on Monday and calculate the variance and the standard deviation, so the sigma squared and the sigma, of the even problems only. Do not do all the problems.